Hey people, welcome to the Run Testers. It's Kieran here. I'm here at the London Marathon Expo with Nick. It's Friday. It's fairly quiet at the moment. Just to show we're actually in London.
You can tell by the noise.
We are here introing a race test that we're going to do on Sunday. We're doing it now because we're going to have our game faces on come Sunday morning.
Might not see each other as well, so it's a good chance to do it together. Even though the tech setup for this, I'm not going to lie, is on the brink of going wrong at any second. So
we're not going to see each other though because Nick goes to the fast start.
Yes.
And I go to the slow start. And
you'll be a very similar start, won't you?
I think I'm going wave 2, but we are both on our feet going to be testing an exciting new shoe that I've done some oxygen exchange efficiency tests that have showed it's more efficient than a couple of other shoes. Got a first run on the channel. That is going to be the Puma Fast-R3
Nitro Elite.
Nitro Elite. You're doing that too, Nick.
Wild shoe, yeah. So I used it last weekend for park run. Ran my fastest park run since the Asics Meta Speed Sky Paris before London. Then I went did 10 miles on feel steady using just heart rate, and was running basically 2:30 marathon pace. Garmin told me it was a base run. I've never felt so efficient, Kieran. So I think it feels like the real deal. I'm very excited to run in it the weekend. And what's your plan for the race though?
So for the race, I'm basically going to go and run it on feel. I'm hoping that I'm in shape to be on or around my PB, which is 2:54. It will either go brilliantly well, or I will come in at 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
How about you?
So I PB'd at Seville. This is a free shot. Talked to my coach. Basically said, well, free shot. A few downhills first half of London. Do something a bit silly first half. Go out with a group that's hopefully running 71, 72. And then we'll just see what happens from there. Again, like you, could be a PB run, but if it's not the end of the world. We've already got the PB. So going to go, a bit of a moonshot probably, I think.
Yeah.
And we've got these shoes out. I mean, I think my fitness is exactly the same as Seville, but I'm so much more confident going into this race, the home race. That could lead to overconfidence and a terrible result, but it also could be a very good result.
And I'm super excited for these shoes. Basically, I think actually there's like a placebo effect thing going to happen here. Because all of this data that's come out about these shoes, the lab tests that they've done, a bit like they did for the Nike 4% original shoe, show that this shoe makes all runners more efficient to some degree. Even going into the race with that in the back of your head, you're like, well, this has got to work.
Exactly, yeah. I'm so susceptible to that kind of hype. I love it. Yeah, we'll see. I think all of that is probably true, and it feels great. How does it feel in the last 5 K of a marathon?
Yeah.
But then there's some really good results from it in Boston. I feel good about the shoe, and that's always a good start. I feel good about everything. I always love London because I can sleep in my own bed, get a coach from my club straight to start line. Good chance to have fun, run fast, a bit warm maybe, but that'll probably be okay. Yeah. Anything else for testing, Kieran?
I haven't really decided. I will be testing some watches.
Yeah. So both with the Garmin Fenix on, I think.
I'll probably have the Fenix 8.
And I might do an Apple Watch. Always a good comparison. People love an Apple Watch comparison.
I've actually got the Vivo. I might, because I've been testing the Vivo Active 6 generally for the channel. So it's not normally a watch that I would use for this, but
£1,000 watch versus a £300 watch.
Yeah,
good idea?
We'll see. Yeah.
And then everything else is my standard. More to nutrition. Got some new specs that might be embargoed. I think might talk about those. Headbands, Orion vest, all the usual stuff. Decathlon's women's shorts. Nice. Yeah, gold. I'm very excited. I just need to recover now for 3 days.
Let's go do it. So that is the London Marathon in the Puma Fast-R3 done. Crossed the line in 2:58 or something. I'm not too sure. It's a little bit off my PB. It was hot out there. Yeah, make some excuses, but the last couple of days I felt like I had a cold. Woke up this morning, I wasn't feeling great. Was coughing up green stuff. Too much information, but anyway, it was hot and I just wasn't quite on it. I was on it all the way to halfway. I probably paced it a little bit wrong. Went out and did. I think I may have run my fastest ever half in the first half. I was doing it on feel. The hat has come undone. I'm too tired to do it up. But I think I found the course it was quite busy. It felt quite cluttered out there. I don't know whether they mixed up the paces so you weren't going in waves with the pace, but I had to surge at times. It was busy, it was noisy. And the energy out there, I felt like it was up a level this year. Everywhere, it was really loud, which is great. It's great. You know, the people who are back there are going to need all of that. They're going to get so much good support out there. It was fantastic. When you're running not so well, I quite wanted somewhere to hide. It felt a little bit intense at times. And the headphones that I was using, these JLAB open ear headphones, didn't quite sort of cancel out the sound. But anyway, onto the shoes. So the Puma Fast-R, they actually ran like an absolute dream. I have a feeling that I ran too hard. I ran on feel, I think I ran too hard, got overexcited in the first half, but they were flowing really nicely. They actually felt nice and controlled. They were nice and smooth, energetic. They gave me everything that I needed. I think it was me that was just off, but these shoes I would definitely lace up to go and chase a PB again. I thought they might be a little bit sort of mechanical, a little bit awkward at times, a little bit disjointed maybe because of that sort of dual sort of midsole setup, but it didn't actually pan out that way. I actually found them really nice and smooth, and now that I've run in them a lot more, I know them better, and I was able to get the efficiency out of them, and they ran me really well. And to be honest, that fear I had that they might not be great when the wheels came off, well, that has just proved they were okay. At times I think I dropped to 8-minute miles and I was a bit ragged, I was tired, and even a bit further back on the hills I didn't mind it. They were okay, they weren't too exposed, it wasn't too much of a knife edge to fall off. So overall, this is a thumbs up for these shoes. I have a feeling I've run a half PB in that, and if that's true, then that will tell you everything that you need to know about the shoes, but also about the fact that I messed up the pacing. Anyway, I'm going to get my bag, get some food, go and see the family. But congratulations to everyone else who ran today. Some awesome runs out there in the heat for sure.
Well, I'm all done. I've run a 2:26 there, which I'm delighted with given the situation. Went through 1:12 low first half, very hot. 27k, I was like, nope, not today. And I was like, okay, well, let's enjoy, let's get to 32, running quite hard, and then enjoy the last 10k. Just run purely, you know, to feel low effort, and was ticking over okay at like 3:32s, 3:33s, and so I hold that as long as possible. People coming back to me because it was such a hot day. I'm really hoping I cracked top 100 for the first time. I was quicker than last year. It's my second fastest marathon, fastest London, so it felt amazing. And the Pumas just, yeah, they're really good. I felt like a real floor raiser for me today, as in my worst pace as I was feeling bad was still good. They feel really mechanical, like you really feel them rolling you through with that extended plate. And yeah, and it's a nice feeling for me. I think some people might like that feeling, but they really feel like they're taking the load off a bit. And on a hot day, you know, to run my second fastest marathon, to hold on there, hopefully crack the top 100. I need to see the results there. You know, picked up a lot of people there who had a blow up, and I controlled it quite well, and I think the shoes helped. Training obviously was a bulk of that. Big up to my coach Andy Hobder as always for getting me in decent shape after Seville to run again. Really pleased with that. Had a really good day, and just, yeah, kind of soaked it up last 10k. Just great day out there. Lots of people, lots of familiar faces. Someone paced me through 15 miles, and just a good day all round. Puma's very good. Do more of a recap on other bits later, but just another fantastic sunny day in London.
So then it's the day after the London Marathon. The dust has settled a bit, and I've had a bit more time to mull over the performance of the Puma Fast-R3. I'm super tired as well. I have to say, if I was already impressed by the research data and my own running economy tests that I did in the Puma Fast-R3 versus the Adios Pro 4 and the Nova Blast 5, then this real-world test at the London Marathon has only served to kind of back all of that up. These shoes undoubtedly worked for me out there yesterday. Maybe really actually too well in the first half, where I got very carried away, clearly got overexcited. This time out, I sort of didn't get it right. My run-on-feel approach, it went wildly wrong. Now, if you know anything about marathon pacing, you'll know that it's absolutely atrocious idea to run a half marathon PB in the first half of a marathon, particularly when it's hot. And that was how it was yesterday. I did that. I also ran a 10-mile PB and a 30k PB in that mix. And I think some of that was actually down to how strong I felt initially in the Puma shoes. They're light, they're punchy, they're propulsive, you feel efficient. I held PB pace right up to the 19th mile before I eventually dropped off. But even in the last 6 miles, this kind of smooth, snappy feedback from the Fast-R3, I think really helped me hang on when it looked like all might be lost in that race. And crucially, I think here's an important point, they were comfortable over the 26.2, even when things weren't quite going according to plan. I wasn't moving fully ragged, but I was not running great in those last 6 miles, and it didn't feel as exposed as I thought I would. So if you're chasing a personal best, I think these shoes should definitely be on your list. Probably up there along with the Metaspeed Sky Paris. I really like them. I can't wait to run in them again and give them another crack out, perhaps with a little bit better pacing, where I do think those efficiency gains are going to pay off some real dividends. I also tested the JLAB Flex Open Ear clip-on style headphones. I've kind of been enjoying this style of headphones recently. The Atmosphere Up is another pair that I've kind of liked running in my training runs and generally around. But the JLAB here in London really struggle with the noise. I've never heard it so loud in the 5 Londons that I've done. That was my 5th. The noise was virtually non-stop, which was absolutely incredible out there, but it simply drowned out the music for large chunks of the race. And at times I really wanted a little audio cocoon to hide in, particularly when I was really struggling. But these headphones with the open ears really couldn't cope. The top volume wasn't strong enough. They are really comfortable. And if you don't like the kind of neckband or cheekbone open ear style of the sort of bone conductors, shocks and co, I think this is a good alternative. And on regular training runs that I was doing around London, the volume levels have actually been okay. Often run river paths where it's quite quiet. But for a race where it's this kind of crowded, this level of noise, I definitely needed something more. I wouldn't use them again for that. They couldn't cope. I just needed to be a little bit more isolated. And I didn't expect it to be that way. I wanted to sort of have that open ear so I could have my music but also tune into the crowd. But it turns out actually I just couldn't get the full volume that I needed to actually tune the crowd out. So they did struggle there, but I have enjoyed them for like my regular runs in quieter environments.
So it's day after the London Marathon, had a bit more of a chance to reflect on the race itself and the kit I used. Got the medal here, which is an incredible medal this year, really strong medal. Also a really nice race t-shirt, which I didn't get because I don't tend to say yes to the race t-shirts, but kind of wish I had this year. Very nice burgundy colour. So yesterday was magnificent. I had such a good time. Like I say, I went through with a friend to 15 miles, started to slow down not long after that. Felt I was pretty cooked, but just tried to hold a pace, enjoyed the last 10k and really soak it up. And just, ran faster than expected. And I do think that's partly down to the Puma Fast-R Nitro Elite 3. I think, just like I said at the end of the race there, it really is like a floor raiser. Like me and Kieran both overcooked the first half. But we both were able to kind of keep rolling in the second half of the race. And I was going past people. Mike got a really nice long video of me running in late on in the race. I look like an absolute shambles. I never look great when I'm running. I don't have particularly elegant style, but you can see I'm just not in great shape, but I am still moving fairly quickly, even in that video. And, the shoe is helping there. And it's also a good sign for how it performs, when you are breaking down a bit, because I was landing further back than even than I normally do, really short strides, but still getting a nice efficient ride from the shoe. So it's not that unfriendly, if you're landing on your heels there. I think if you're really, blown, then that wouldn't be so good. It's not the most stable or supportive shoe, but, worked really well for me on race day. I have nothing but praise for the shoe. Looking forward to racing in it again. No real too much wear and tear yet after 50 miles. No, Puma doesn't really rate the durability of the shoe very highly at 200 miles or 300k. Not completely out of whack for super shoes, but it's rare to see a brand say that so clearly, but I haven't seen anything too worrying just yet. So definitely a top racing option when it is more widely available. I know it's sold out very quickly. Obviously we'll compare it to some other super shoes when it comes to our full review of the shoe and then some versus videos, but Asics Metaspeed Sky Paris is right up there with that. I'm putting them both up there as my top 2 right now. I'm not going to make a call on it just yet. I didn't have the best day to really test the Puma compared to the Asics, but I still ran a really good time. Asics still has my PB. It's cheaper, more available, but both amazing shoes. Loved the Puma. Loved how it felt throughout the race, but especially when I was really struggling in that last 10 miles. Then on to the watches. I wore the Apple Watch Ultra 2 and the Garmin Fenix 8 on my wrist. Both performed really well. Heart rate, the Apple wasn't so good. I didn't wear a heart rate chest strap to compare the results to, but I kind of know what my heart rate should look like in a marathon. I think we all kind of expect that steady rise of heart rate throughout the race, and that's exactly what the Garmin showed, hitting around my max heart rate in the final sprint there. So, showed a very clear progression. I think that's pretty much dialed in on exactly what my heart rate would have been in the race, whereas the Apple Watch Ultra 2 didn't really lock onto anything in the first half of the race, was often showing no results or was reading a bit too high, but then in the second half of the race did closely match up to what the Garmin was showing, so I think it had then dialed in and locked onto my heart rate. So pretty okay performance there. Both are really good on GPS. Like the Apple Watch's overall distance is very close to the official marathon race distance, and I was a little bit of weaving, some wide turns, but actually where I was in the race I was able to stick to the blue lines that mark the quickest course a lot of the way, so that's a very accurate result there. Garmin had a slightly bigger overall distance, but still very impressive, and looking at the map around Canary Wharf, which is the hardest bit for GPS throughout the race, the Garmin actually showed a slightly more accurate track around there than the Apple Watch, but both otherwise were very close together in terms of GPS, the GPS track after the race, and both really impressed. And I was able to pace in that first half, although someone was kind of pacing me. I wasn't really worrying about it too much, but I could look down and my watches were giving me quite consistent results. You know, Apple Watch Ultra was lapping 1K very close to the markers each time, and the Garmin I was manually lapping 5K splits most of it, and distance was pretty close to 5K each time and all that. So yeah, really impressed with both watches. Little nugget on the battery life, which was I took them both off the charger in the morning. I charged them overnight to 100%. I don't really wear watches the night before a race. I'm not going to look at the sleep data anyway. And so the Garmin, they're both 100%. At 6 p.m. that evening, the Garmin was at 84% and the Apple Watch was at 67%. So, you know, including tracking a marathon, it's pretty strong battery life across both. The Garmin will obviously last a fair bit longer than the Apple Watch, which is never going to be the best on battery life, but even including tracking that marathon, I could expect it to last a couple of days. That's not bad from the Apple Watch Ultra 2. There's two really good watches. Like, I like both, and they're both very expensive. The Garmin's much more expensive even than the Apple Watch, so it's, you know, they're very much high-end options, but they both performed very well in the marathon itself and were helped in terms of tracking. If I was judging by heart rate, which I wasn't, the Garmin, the Fenix 8 would have been the better option. Like I say, a lot of time I was just running to field or running with groups, but they were both useful options to have there that were showing accurate pacing stats throughout. And then other kit was my normal stuff, like throughout, head to toe. You know, I had headband on, saw race vest with my club vest on, decathlon shorts, which I think are quite hard to find now, so I won't go into too much detail on those. You know, Sporks, unicorn socks, and my normal Morton nutrition plan. I'll put it on screen in a slide what I use, but there's a bit more detail in some other videos we've done. But basically, I take some kind of Morton every 5k, a gel at the first 5k, and then it's drinks from soft flasks I carry with me throughout the rest of the race. So yeah, the normal strategy for me there, same one I used at the Seville Marathon. It's been very successful for me. Just, yeah, overall, just a really great day around. London never disappoints in terms of support, especially as it is a local race for me. My family is able to come down, which is amazing. Friends out on the course, and then my club does one of the drinks tables, so it's always like the best. I always go crazy at that. Like, I see them twice. It's always the first time I see them is at like 22k, so I'm just coming out of Tower Bridge. I'm already hyped. I see them, I go absolutely crazy. Second time I see them is about 22 miles. I'm coming back and I'm, you know, like in real trouble usually by then. So still hyped, but less hyped than at 22k. But yeah, big support from the Orion Harriers out there, always amazing, and everyone else who shouted on the course. Thanks very much. I had a really, really good time all round. Loved the race. Nice little break from marathons for me now. Nice rest in general. But yeah, great day out. Great to test the Puma Fast-R Nitro Elite 3. It's the real deal. I think it's one of the best races available. I really enjoyed using it. One to look out for, and it is more available in the future.
So there you have it, then. That's been our race test of the Puma Fast-R3 at the 2025 London Marathon. Hope you found it useful. As ever, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, ring the bell, do all of that kind of stuff. I wanted to say a big thanks to everyone who came and said hello, spoke to me on the morning, spoke to Nick, and you know, it really makes our day when you guys come over and chat after the race, before the race. It's a happy thing. So thanks for that. If you're interested in other race tests, I'm going to pop a video on the channel now that you should go and watch. Otherwise, thanks for stopping by. Congratulations to everyone who ran a marathon out there on the weekend or just went out and got running anyway. Yeah, and until next time, happy running, people.